With the Major League Baseball trade deadline just a week away, it's that time of the season where teams are gearing up to make crucial moves. Today we'll focus on the teams that need to buy at this year's trade deadline. But before we dive in, if you missed our last video on 7 teams that need to sell, make sure you check it out. The link will be in the description. And hey, also while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because we've got you covered with all the latest trade deadline news, analysis, grades, winners and losers when each trade happened. Alright, kicking off our list, the first team is the newest entry to the number 1 spot in baseball's power rankings that I upload. And now the number 1 team in the AL East, first place, Baltimore Orioles. They have taken the AL East by storm. With impressive combination of young talents with some seasoned veterans, they've soared up to the top spot. Their rebuild has finally come full circle, and after opting to sell at the trade deadline last year, they found themselves in a great position this year. While their offense has been firing on all cylinders, the Orioles are aware of their biggest weakness, pitching. They've even gone out and acquired right-handed pitcher Shintaro Fujinami from the A's as their start of their bye. Both their starting rotation and bullpen have been inconsistent, and addressing that area is their top priority. With a loaded farm system at their disposal, they have the assets to make significant moves. In the starting rotation, they could target a reliable veteran arm or a promising young starter who can provide stability and mentorship to their young talents. In the bullpen, a dominant setup man that can go along with Cano and Bautista will fortify their great chances in close games. With their eyes set on a playoff push, expect the Orioles to be aggressive in the trade market. Their fans are hungry for the postseason baseball, and this could be the year they really go far. The Toronto Blue Jays are sitting at a strong 55-45 record and hold the final wild card spot in the American League. Their roster is stacked with talent, and they boast one of the most exciting lineups in baseball, led by stars like Bo Bichette, George Springer, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Their offense can still compete with the best. However, the Blue Jays are eyeing some reinforcements to bolster their chances for a deep playoff run. One area of concern is their starting rotation, where they could use a reliable 5th starter option to replace the struggling Alek Manoah. Additionally, their bullpen could benefit from an experienced arm to shore up their late innings. On the offensive side, they have plenty of firepower, but adding another bat in the outfield or designated hitter would solidify their lineup as one of the best in all of baseballs. Surprising everyone this season, the Texas Rangers hold a 3-game lead in the AL West over the Astros, despite missing their ace for the next year and a half. The Rangers are determined to continue their impressive run. Similar to other teams on this list, pitching is a key area for the Rangers. Already making moves to acquire left-handed pitcher Aroldis Chapman from the Royals, they've shown their willingness to strengthen their staff. Expect them to explore further options for both starting pitching and relievers. Under the guidance of experienced manager Bruce Bochy, the Rangers have the potential to make a deep playoff run with the right additions. Additionally, another outfield bat may be on the radar to bolster their offensive power, and I believe that if they go out here and have a strong deadline, the Rangers are my World Series favorites in the American League. I love Bruce Bochy. What a story the Cincinnati Reds have been this season. With their impressive performance, they're currently half game back of the Brewers for the NL Central lead and are making a serious case for a postseason berth. However, they do find themselves with an interesting situation with second baseman Jonathan India. Recent reports suggest that the Reds are willing to listen to offers for Jonathan India. Despite not playing at his Rookie of the Year level, India remains a solid option at second base. However, with the emergence of other talented players like Spencer Steer, Matt McClain, and Ellie De La Cruz, with many more in the farm system, the Reds have options. One of the possible scenarios that they could do is sell India for prospects looking to build for the future, or they could package him as a valuable trade chip to acquire an impact bat or within the outfield, or address their pitching names with a young, controllable arm. Whatever their decision, the Reds have a great shot to win the NL Central and remain competitive in the division for years to come. Now, this team's in a really tough spot. I didn't include them in my sell video, but the Los Angeles Angels currently have just a 10% chance to make the playoffs. But they also have one of the most incredible players on the planet, Shohei Ohtani. Given Ohtani's upcoming free agency at the end of the season, the Angels face a critical decision at the trade deadline. There's a couple ways the Halos can approach the deadline. They could trade Ohtani for MLB-ready players who can impact the team and commit to Trout and winning and push them into the playoffs. Or they could add around Ohtani, showing their commitment to him and their ambitions to win. While their chances at a postseason seem slim, they're not out of contention just yet. A hot streak against tough opponents in August could significantly boost their playoff hopes. but going cold might mean losing Ohtani for just a draft pick if they don't trade him. It's a tough spot for the Halos, and their decision will shape the future. The Arizona Diamondbacks have been quite the story this season, impressing many, including myself. Sitting in the second wildcard spot, they have shown that they can compete with the best. However, there's work to be done at the trade deadline to bolster their rotation for a serious playoff push. With only 3 healthy starting pitchers on their depth chart, adding more pitching depth is a top priority. Additionally, they could explore adding infielders to further bolster their team and close any gaps in their lineup. With a strong showing in the first half of the season, the Diamondbacks have proven they have the potential to be a competitive team. Making strategic moves at the deadline could solidify their chances of competing in the playoffs this season. The San Francisco Giants seem to be back on their every other year system, except odd years this decade. After winning the division in 2021, they've been competing at the top of the division before this recent 5-game skid. And actually, while I'm writing this, they just lost their 6th game to the Tigers, so make that a 6-game skid. Still tied for the final playoff spot. Well, actually, they're probably half game back now. The Giants are looking to add to their roster and make another run at the playoffs. While it's hard to tell what the Giants are going to do because they're known for liking their platoons, one area of focus could be securing a reliable number 2 pitcher in their rotation. This could make a significant difference with only Logan Webb being their great pitcher, and we go back to 2021, they had Webb and Rodon. While their approach at the deadline might not be entirely predictable, given their preference for platooning, they know that they need to make some moves to stay competitive in a highly contested division with the Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Recent losses have exposed some weaknesses and making this trade deadline a critical time for their postseason aspirations. The Milwaukee Brewers were an afterthought for about a month while the Reds absolutely surged in the division. However, they've shown signs of coming to life out of the All-Star break, playing good baseball and even sweeping the Reds. With renewed energy, the Brewers are back in the mix. As they look to build momentum for a playoff push, several positions could be of interest to Brewers. Starting pitching is one area they could seek upgrades to and further strengthen their rotation. Additionally, they might explore adding corner infielders and a designated hitter to enhance their offensive depth. The Brewers have proven in recent years that they can be a formidable postseason team, and with the right moves at the trade deadline, they could have the potential to make another deep playoff run. The Minnesota Twins find themselves leading the weak AL Central, but if they want to make a playoff impact, they need to do more to bolster their roster. Despite leading their division, their record doesn't even give them a wild card spot if there was a team ahead of them in the division. As they aim to solidify their position atop the AL Central, the Twins will likely look to find upgrades across the diamond. Filling holes in their lineup and strengthening their pitching staff are essential if they want to improve their chances in the playoffs. The Twins have shown glimpses of potential, but they'll need to make the right moves at the deadline to make a significant impact in the postseason and go far. Kim Ng, the Miami Marlins' fantastic general manager, has made some smart moves at the recent trade deadlines. Bringing in someone like Jesus Luzardo for half a season of Starling Marte. And I even believe they got Brian De La Cruz in exchange for Yimi Garcia in a trade with the Astros. Tied for the final spot in the wild card in the National League, the Marlins are still in great position to compete this year. Their rotation consists of young talent with future stars in the making, so it's likely they'll be looking for a high-impact bat to add to their lineup. In addition, solid arms in the bullpen could help them push for the playoffs this season. The Marlins have shown their resilience, and with the right additions, can also become a surprise contender in the National League. So there you have it. A comprehensive breakdown of 10 teams that need to be bold and make strategic moves at the trade deadline this year. Each team has unique strengths and weaknesses, and their moves in the coming week will shake them up for the postseason aspirations. Of course, there's other powerhouse teams like the Braves, Phillies, Dodgers, and Rays, Astros as well, but they're already World Series contenders, and I feel as if that they don't really need to buy. They could still go far in the playoffs even if they don't add. But let's keep the conversation going. In the comment section below, let me know what teams you think need to buy and what kind of trades you'd like to see. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting trade deadline content. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.
It's delicious.